Today is January 13th, so we're on Proverbs chapter 13, and we want to encourage you guys just to read a chapter of Proverbs a day. This wisdom that's here in God's Word it's unmeasurable. It just continues to speak to you over and over. It takes 15-20 minutes a day to read a chapter of Proverbs, and that's if you take your time. So Proverbs 13, I'm going to do verse 7 and verse 8. We're going to start with verse 7. There is that maketh himself rich, yet hath nothing. There is that maketh himself poor, yet hath great riches. And I checked the languages on this, the background of these words here used. And the first word rich means wealth, and the second word great riches means sufficiency and contentment. So basically the first part of this verse tells us there is he who makes himself rich, yet he has nothing. People will spend all their time trying to make money because this world gives us this false deceit that money brings happiness. Money doesn't bring happiness. Money can bring pleasure, but pleasure is temporary. Pleasure does not last. The book of Hebrews tells us the fleeting pleasures of sin. It's fleeting. It comes and goes. It never stays. It never lasts. And when that pleasure is gone, you're discontented. You're stressed out, and you're seeking more. And that's how addictions start. And that's the start of many bad things. But the man that seeks to make himself rich, he spends all his time trying to make money. He's sacrificing time with his family, time with his friends, but most importantly, he's sacrificing time that he needs to be, that he should be with God in prayer and in His Word and serving God. That's where true happiness comes from. The Bible tells us very clearly that we can't serve two masters. We can't serve money. We can't hunger and thirst for money and then be faithful to God. That just can't happen. But true happiness comes from being in God's will. The second part, there is that maketh himself poor, yet hath great riches. Now there's two types of poor here. The poor that this is, there's poor people that are poor because they don't want to work and they don't want to provide for themselves. That's not the poor people we're talking about. This is talking about poor people who choose to be poor because they choose not to spend all their time trying to make money. They choose to spend their time wisely doing other things for doing things with real purpose, for doing things for God, for eternity, not just in this temporary moment, in this temporary life. But when you are spending your time serving God, you have great riches, you have sufficiency, you have contentment, you have peace. Just a little testimony. I used to spend my time trying to get money. That was my goal. That was all I wanted to do, was make money, and God allowed me to make some money. And there was nothing there. There was just stress and unsatisfaction. The more that I made, the more that I wanted. But the peace and joy that I have now compared to that life it's not comparable. To living for God, to living for money, is not even comparable. There's pleasure over there, but there's no contentment. There's no happiness. Verse 8, the ransom of a man's life are his riches, but the poor heareth not rebuke. The ransom of a man's life are his riches. Basically, a man's riches hold him ransom. They control him. They control how he views himself in the world and how people view him. They control how he feels. When people make money, they tend to think they're better than people, and they're all that. When really, you're nothing. God gave you everything that you have. Why do you think you're special? You say you worked hard. God gave you your work ethic. It doesn't make sense to get puffed up because you make some money. Really, you wasted your time because money doesn't bring anything, doesn't do anything for you. And they control how people view you and how people treat you. For some reason, this world wants to be envied. We want to be envied by other people. Envy is not a good thing. Let's see what what God tells us about envy. The world tells us envy is cool and good. People want what we have. Let's see what the Bible tells us. Proverbs chapter 27, verse 4. Let's see. Wrath is cruel, anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy? So it's saying wrath and anger are bad, but envy is really bad. Why is that? It's because when people envy us, they're close to us, they're nice to us, but inside they hate us. They're only nice to us because they want what we have. They're close to us because they want what we have. They like what we have. They don't like us. That's why envy is so dangerous. But the poor heareth not rebuke, but the poor has peace. The poor aren't getting sued every day. People aren't envying the poor, trying to get what they have. The poor have peace and joy and happiness because they spend their time wisely, because they serve God and they serve the master, the true master, the one who is in control, the one who gave us all we have, the one who created us. They have true peace and true joy. That this money cannot bring these things. God can only give you these things. Thanks.